Call this special meeting to order. Would you do the roll call, please?
Mayor Murphy,
I'm still here.
Mayor Pro Tem Chirko.
Here.
Councilmember Gross,
Here.
Councilmember Hasselbrink.
Properly dressed and here.
Special orders of the day. Consideration of the city council vacancy created by the resignation of former council member Warren Kusamoto. Do you want us to just discuss here now?
I believe the clerk, would you like to go?
Would you like to go
for
take
staff
over?
report, or-
I have a staff report I can review, and then you guys can discuss which
Okay.
options you would like. As you know, on December 16th, Warren Kusamoto resigned from his position on the council. Council has two options to fill the vacancy. They can appoint a registered voter from the city or hold a special election. If council chooses to appoint to fill the vacancy, it must occur within 60 days from the date of resignation, which will be February 14th, 2020. The council may decide the manner in which they appoint someone. If council decides to hold a special election or fails to appoint somebody within 60 days, the next special election date is April 14th, 2020. We have reached out to the County of Orange for estimated election costs, and they're still awaiting a response. In 2017, it was estimated to be between $35,000 and $39,000. Another point that council will need to decide on is the term of office. Since former councilmember Kusamoto's unexpired term has more than 2 years remaining, our charter allows the majority vote of the council to either appoint someone for the entire unexpired term or to appoint someone until the next general municipal election. Your staff report outlines 3 options for you guys to discuss this morning to see how you would like to move forward. Option 1 is to advertise for applications of interested parties, conduct interviews of applicants, and then appoint. Option 2 would be for each council member to submit names of who they would like to be considered. And option 3 would be to hold a special election. And as I mentioned earlier, council can submit other options as well. And I'm here if you guys have any questions. And I
Thank
can
you,
just-
Madam Clerk.
My pleasure.
Very eloquent. Just so we can get it out of the way, is anybody here for a special election, or should we just take that off the table?
Yes, I think we
Dean?
can take it off the table.
Yes.
I'm not willing to spend the money.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we just don't have to consider that option. So the first question will be the term. What's everybody thinking as to the term?
I've given this a lot of thought. I think it doesn't make any sense to do it beyond the next election for a few reasons. I think one, we get it to the voters as quickly as we can. There's precedent for doing this, in 2017.
You.
And the council ended up with an excellent, fabulous council member. Number 3, we had an election last year, and 4 people won, and one of the 4 people that won ended up with a 2-year term. So I don't think we appoint someone that was not elected to a longer term than that. I just don't think that would be equitable to give somebody else a 3-year term who was not elected by the people.
Yep, I tend to agree, and then we can talk about changing Warren's district that would be up for 2022, do an ordinance that would change that district to be up in 2020, so the rotation would flip to that, and then keep on track from then on out.
Yeah, and I've thought the same thing, and maybe what we do is we appoint someone now until next year, and then wherever that person falls, if they can run next year, they can run next year.
Right, because we're still at large right now, we can point out large, okay.
And if not, then they just serve for a year, but maybe we take that into consideration when we're interviewing applicants, and, I'm sure we'll know where they live, or we'll find out where they live, and we'll
Right.
think about that. Ideally, we would appoint someone who could run next year, maybe in Warren's district, or in the district where there's nobody represented right now, which is 3, I think.
Yes.
Or just anybody that's interested, and just explain to them what it means based on their address, and let them decide whether they're up just for one year or whether they can run for reelection, but let them decide if that's what they're interested in.
Dean, your thoughts?
I don't really have any specific feelings, other than the fact that I've been the guy running for every 2 years.
Like a congressman.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking that maybe I should run for assembly since that is a problem. I think the idea of appointing somebody for the remainder of the term through 2020 is probably good. Hopefully, we'll get somebody out of his district that chooses to apply.
Or three, right? 'Cause
Well, yeah.
well, yeah. Either way, we need people to run in both districts next year, 3 and 2.
Right.
Yeah, we don't need any more people running in one. Full up there.
We understand that.
So I guess the question that comes to my mind is, would we give preference to somebody who's in one of those districts?
I don't think we can.
No?
I don't think that would be fair. That's us rigging how
Yeah.
the council seat looks. That's not, we can explain to them the rules, we can explain to them what they're eligible to do after 2020, but I don't think it's up to us to say, well, you can't apply because you're not in the right district. Because right now, we're at large.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we pick the best candidate wherever
Yeah.
they live, but I mean, yes, like you said, we'll tell them, hey, you won't be able to run next year. You're a
Right, but
good candidate.
we can't disqualify people because right now we're at large. We can't disqualify them because eventually we're going to be in districts. I don't think that's right either.
Well, we will be in districts next year
Right.
for everything else, but well, for 2 of the 3 next year. Any other, I mean, what would the other option be? We would leave District 3 until 2020, and then next year somebody would run for 2 years at large. I just think you're going to get less candidates running for a 2-year term. And then there's the complication of, can somebody run for District 3 and at large at the same time? You can only run for one at a time. Yeah,
That'd be confusing.
It would be
beyond
very-
I just think the
confusing.
cleanest is do it for a year.
move up,
and then-
move up
Yep,
date.
and then that's clean, and then everybody who's interested understands the terms based on where they live, and then go from there. We start doing well, what if this and what if that?
What month did you get appointed in?
December of
Okay.
2017.
So, but, okay,
So this would be a little later, realistically, right? Probably January, maybe we could make an appointment.
yeah. So the consensus then is a point for a year, or to the next election, not quite a year, but.
I think so. And we probably cannot change the schedule today, right? Because that was not noticed. We need to do a separate.
And that's an ordinance, so it would take 2 meetings?
Yes,
But we can instruct you to get started,
yes.
And we can,
which we'll need to do.
Yeah, and so it's an ordinance that'll need to be adopted and then will be effective 30 days after adoption, 2 meetings, but in essence, it needs to be wrapped up by 2020, so.
But the
The ordinance won't slow down the appointment at this
Right,
stage.
right.
So we can move everything forward. If the consensus of the council is to move forward with the appointment, we could direct staff, the clerk, to circulate applications, try to get candidates in, make the recommendation at our January regular meeting, and have an introduction and first reading of the ordinance that will shift the actual district elections.
and that'll be,
What do you mean shift the district elections?
As of right now, per our prior ordinance, districts 1 and 3 would be contested in year 2020, with districts 2, 4, and 5 being contested in 2022. I think what's being suggested is that District 5 be brought forward in
District 2.
District 2, sorry,
District 2.
in 2020.
So
that
Warren's
gives it-
district,
Correct.
yeah.
So 1 and 3 are scheduled for 2020. We would move District 2 into 2020 as well.
Which is Warren's district, that would be moved.
So these 3 would be in 2020, these 2 in 2022. So it's still 3 and 2, it's just a different 3 and 2.
So when the mayor pro tem snuck in, how long did you give people to apply?
The availability notice went out for 9 days.
9 days? Okay. And if we want to get them on the agenda for January, wow. We're going to give them till when then?
Ideally, to get the agenda out, it would be just over 3 weeks. Oops, sorry. Trying to pull up my calendar. January, we can give them until January 8th, January 13th at the absolute latest. Which would
And then we'll appoint at that next council meeting.
Yes, but you can appoint at that next council meeting, and then they can participate in the January meeting after they're sworn in, or you can hold a special meeting before that, so they have plenty of time to.
To
To a point.
a special meeting to appoint.
Yes,
So does that shorten the application time even more?
yes.
Okay. Do you have that planned out in your mind?
Yes, either way.
Okay. So they're going to get minimum
Minimum, it'll be 2 weeks.
2 weeks to apply. Everybody feel that's enough time?
Yeah. I mean, can we get it out, and the word out that there's this vacancy and encourage people to apply?
I'm going to publish it today. We'll post it on the website and then send it out through social media and to all of our newspapers.
So there'd be a special meeting then in January to appoint?
If that's what you guys choose, we can do a special meeting in January.
So then they can participate in the January regular meeting.
Is that what we're agreeing on?
We're still discussing at this point.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, the sooner the better, especially with some of the things that we have coming up. I think the sooner we get somebody in there and in regular meetings, I think would be best. Because I don't want to be able to use the excuse of delaying decisions because we don't have a full council.
The council meeting, the next council meeting is the 21st,
Yes, Tuesday due to the holiday.
and when would you expect a special meeting?
And the week of the 13th, anytime?
Okay.
Can we do it the 14th, since
We did
we're,
the workshop on the 14th.
we're here anyway?
Yeah.
These meetings are coming together nicely. We have so many of them.
I know.
Do we have to wear a suit on the 14th?
Yes.
Yes. You really don't. It's not required.
Just waste
You
that.
just get your vote. If you come in board shorts and a T-shirt, you get a vote, so.
Thanks, Gerard.
So January 14th, you are scheduled for the 6 o'clock fiscal sustainability review, so we can do the interviews at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could also adjust the workshop too, if we need to
Right.
push it back a little bit, that would help.
Push it back in the day.
Yeah, we were talking about a 6 o'clock start. If we needed to push that out to 7, we could. But
Right.
I know that for a couple of you, that could be a challenge to be here by 5. So if that is a challenge, there is some flexibility.
Okay, can the people who work make 5 o'clock? Can you make 5 o'clock on that day?
Yeah, I'll use some PTO.
What?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Do we notice it as one big meeting where we can keep going, or do we have one at 6 and one at 5?
We would notice it as one big meeting.
Okay. So it just,
I think depending on how many applicants we get, if that's
Yeah.
the route we go, if it's just a couple applicants, we can do 5 and keep the sustainability at 6. If we get more, we can move the sustainability to 7. I mean, that's easy enough to change. We don't have to decide on that right now.
Right. So the agenda would list the applicants first and then the fiscal sustainability after. So if the interviews go a little bit longer, then staff is ready to do the fiscal sustainability part anytime after that. And if they wrap up earlier, we can start so it would
okay.
just flow.
Would the person then be appointed right then?
Mhm.
That's what happened with you, right?
And then they could sit in on the sustainability
Yeah.
at least.
Yep.
Well, anybody can listen in on the
Let the bad
sustainability.
news start
Well,
them
anyway.
off with the bad news. Is that it? Congratulations on the job, by the way.
Fix this.
We'd
We're
like-
we're
we need
going
you-
broke.
We need you to write a check for $3 million. so-
Every year.
Even though we're giving you a 9-month
Yeah.
appointment, basically, till you start campaigning. Okay. So if we know the term, we're going to move the district. Do we need a motion to do all this?
Yes, please. And direct staff to start working on the ordinance to move the district.
Oh, I'll move, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Did you vote, Dean? I didn't hear you.
No, I'm an aye.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anything else?
Now the city attorney will take you into closed session.
City Council will now adjourn into closed session to discuss item 4A as listed on your agenda.
Thank you all for coming today.
Pleasure.